Well, everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics. Thank you so much for being here. If you love breeding fish, I have got 5 great options for you as we move into 2025. We've done an entire series on how to breed fish for profit. I will put that in the upper right-hand corner as well as in the description below. Highly recommend you check that out. But here's 5 that I think are going to be really popular in 2025. Number 1, I'm going to start with the most unusual fish first. I promise we're going to get into more common fish here in a moment, but this is Dichrosis, otherwise known as the checkerboard cichlid. Now, this is an entire genus, and these fish are awesome. And the reason why they are going to be popular in 2025 and beyond, they stay small, they're full of color, great personality, not overly aggressive. As long as you've got a 20-gallon aquarium, they're going to be great. Makes an awesome centerpiece fish, and they are unusual and they're very hard to find. And so when you combine all these things together, you've got a fish that a lot of people are going to want. And because there's not that many of them out there, the prices are going to remain at least somewhat elevated. So this is an awesome one to consider. Not easy to find. They're going to be expensive at first, as I've already mentioned. So if you want to get a breeding group of around 5 or 6 to start, get them small, let them pair up. The other nice thing is, for the most part, they are relatively tolerant of a wide range of water parameters. And so even though they typically will like water closer to neutral on the softer side, we have kept them in our fish room at a pH of 8 with hard water, and they thrived in those water conditions as well. So don't overlook the Dichrosis, especially the checkerboard cichlid. If you can find them, I would highly recommend start breeding those. The next one to consider, and these have been growing in popularity, especially over the last couple years, and these are the smaller rainbow fish, the pseudomogel, things like the Gertrude rainbow, pasci, luminatus, threadfin rainbow, furcata. These are very small fish, and that means you're going to maximize your customer base, because as long as you've got, in a lot of cases, a 10-gallon, you're going to be in great shape. You keep these things in a group. They show great color. They're not aggressive. They get along well with one another and other community fish. Now, they're not going to bring top dollar necessarily, but with these fish, it really is about volume. But this is a really nice one that, again, not a lot of people are breeding. It's not the easiest fish in the world to breed. You are going to have to feed them very, very, very tiny foods when they are fry, and so you'll have to overcome that hurdle. But this is a fish, again, that's growing in popularity, that shows a ton of color, peaceful. This might be a good option as well. Third fish on the list, and we're going to go back to a smaller, relatively peaceful cichlid, and that's a lot of the Apistogramma. I know in our area, in the Chicagoland, really in the Midwest, these can be somewhat hard to find, and there are so many different types. The reason they're popular is, again, they're going to stay small, max out at just a couple of inches. They are relatively non-aggressive, especially for a cichlid. They have amazing colors, whether you're talking about the Agassizii, whether you're talking about Cocytoides. We love in our fish room Apistogramma panduro, the Borellii, McMasteri. There's so many different species of Apistogramma. Pick a couple of them, learn their behaviors, learn how to breed them. They're actually not that hard to breed. Now, for these fish, they would breed and live a lot longer if you've got water that's on the softer side with a pH closer to neutral. For us, with our pH closer to an 8 and our hard water, we can keep the Panduro just fine. Some of the other fish, they don't tend to do as well in our harder water, and it's a little bit harder for us to breed them. But if you are in a market where you've got close to a neutral pH and your water is not on the harder side, this is a fish where I think you could really make a lot of money here, because a lot of them actually go for a decent amount of money. And I know for the people that come to our swaps, they're always looking for Apistos. It's what a lot of people are wanting right now. And again, lots of different varieties you can cycle through. You can get a pair that breeds for a little while. Once they've given you enough fry, you can move on to a different species. Number 4 on our list, and this is a big one, Cory cats. Now here I am not necessarily talking about the ultra common albinos or the green Cory cats, where you see those everywhere. They're super easy to breed. Those might not be as desirable, but if you've got something like the Venezuela, the Adolphi, the gold laser Cory cats, some of these that are a little bit less common, Habrosus Cory, these fish are always in demand. People want to keep them in groups. As we know, Cory cats are ultra peaceful fish, And for the most part, as long as you've got at least a 20-gallon aquarium, you're in good shape there. And so these are fish that also withstand a wide range of water parameters, so you're going to maximize your customer base as well. And it is just one of those things where people are always looking for Cory cats. And so if you can breed them efficiently, and again, the key here is breed them, and sometimes it's best just to move on to different species so that you don't flood the market in any one area. But Cory cats are always in demand, and they are awesome. Their little personalities are great, lots of different varieties. And number 5, and this is a really great one, a lot of your Rasboras. They are ultra popular. They're going to be that way in 2025 for sure. Lots of different types. And again, we're dealing with a fish that is small. So as long as you've got at least a 10-gallon, a 5-gallon in some cases, you can keep Rasboras. They do best in larger groups, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 or more. Lots of different varieties. You've got your chilies, your miras, your dwarfs, those really small Rasboras. You've got things like the Galaxy Rasbora, the Emerald Dwarf Rasbora. Lots of options here. Now again, just like the smaller rainbow fish, these are not necessarily super easy beginner fish to breed. The fry are going to be ultra tiny. They're going to need infusoria. They're going to need a pulverized food potentially when they are small. So keep that in mind. But overall, if you can successfully breed them, there is a big market for them. I'm curious because the other thing that I wanted to do were 5 fish to stay away from in 2025 if you're looking to breed fish. If you want to see that, let me know down in the comments section below. If you want more information, again, on how to breed fish for profit, check out this video in the upper right-hand corner and that video in the lower right-hand corner, as well as in the description. We'll have all those videos for you there. If I've got species profiles for the fish that I've mentioned today, that will be in the comments section or in the description below. Thank you so much for being here. If you've got a fish that you love breeding right now, leave that in the comments as well. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the next one.